Thank you, Francisco. We were doing some audio testing earlier, and we had to shut it off, so...
All right, so we're back into this round one of the Way of the Rings tournament here. And it looks like the initial conflict is that political conflict with Ida Trader against Julian's Kayusuichi province. It was a manicure garden that was revealed. Julian Hunt showing off those really cool exhausted tokens that he had printed out just to indicate that an ability has been used, so he's put it over his manicured garden. So that's what that exhausted token is.
Right. So the Shinjo Uprider uses the action to come into the combat. It's now 6-4 in the favor of Sung Ho.
Yep. Sung Ho going aggressive with this fight. Well, he does.
He wanted the card draw from the trader a little bit.
He does have the favorable ground to pull it back out. And now we see the reason. Yeah. Oh, no. He's taking back the charge.
Well, it's not a military conflict.
So I guess doing political conflicts first is something you wouldn't really expect out of a unicorn player. There is this one style of unicorn deck that has become popular in the last week or so called Unicordier, which is a very political heavy unicorn deck running a lot of attachments, runs Ida Traders, runs Giver of Gifts, as most unicorn decks do, but it splashes Crane for things like Political Rival and Steward of Law. So we'll see what Sung Ho's splash is in a minute here, hopefully. But it looked like he sent the Ida Trader home with his favorable ground. So looks like it's now just two political strength to Julian's 3-4 with that Watch Commander. And Julian did play that Mountain Does Not Fall, so he's going to be able to defend with that Borderlands Defender for multiple conflicts this turn.
Oh, sorry.
This has looked like a really good first turn for Julian here. The high bid on Sung Ho's side during his draw phase, combined with the honor pressure from Watch Commander, has really put Julian in a commanding position here to dictate the card draw for the next couple of turns. So Julian's gonna counterattack with a Void Military, looks like, against a face-down province. Shameful Display is the province revealed. Now, Eager Scout is 0 glory, and it's 0 strength, so it's not really going to do anything on Julian's side.
Right.
Eden Trader, I believe, is 1 glory or 2 glory. I can't tell.
1 glory, but it's already honored.
Yes. So that the Shameful Display isn't really going to do anything. Well, actually, he could move the Shinjo Outrider in with the Golden Plains Outpost.
Yes.
In an attempt to honor it. This is just a pure scouting expedition.
It absolutely could be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also very easy to have Katana or some other small boost of strength
Bonsai
to win the combat. Yeah. So I think Sung Ho just declared the trader as a defender. Just waiting to confirm, so yeah.
I think he's thinking about putting the favored mount onto the Ida Trader so he can move it into the conflict. And actually by doing that, he's going to be able to trigger the card draw from the Ida Trader. It's a decent play because he then is able to he would be able to win that conflict because an honored Ida Trader with a favorable mount is 3 military. So even if Julian ends up playing a Bonsai, he's still, even if Julian wins the province, he's not going to be able to break it. It's a tough decision. So I do see a guard duty in Sung Ho's hand. So that means Sung Ho is running a Lion Splash with his Unicorn deck. So Julian starts with a charge, grabbing a Kayusuichi. That almost feels like the kind of play you would do if you had a reprieve in your hand. Now, unfortunately, there's no holding in play anymore, so he can't get that fate from Suichi's ability. So I think here comes a favored mount now from Sung-Ho. So favored mount, of course, being a unicorn attachment, 1 fate. No, he instead decides to put the guard duty onto the Shinjo Outrider. So with that, plus the Golden Plains Outpost, he can move the Outrider into play, and I believe through guard duty's ability, he can honor the Shinjo.
Sure, but this is at a shameful display province, so it's not really that useful. I think he accidentally grabbed the wrong card from his hand.
Okay,
well,
so
no,
he decides. Okay, he decides instead to do what I thought he was going to do at the beginning, which is the favored mount play. So now that's a 3 military. Oh, nice. So this was just a bit of a bait by Julian. He plays Way of the Crab, sacrificing his Eager Scout. And now Sung-Ho has to decide between stand your ground. Nice. So a little bit of hot tech there.
Yeah, so it's a lion card. It lets you discard an honored status token to prevent a character from leaving play.
Yeah. Very nice. So a bit of a 2-for-1 on Sung-Ho's side, actually. I wouldn't say that Julian lost a lot of value there. I mean, the Eager Scout didn't cost him any fate. But now, Sung-Ho moves the Edith Trader in with the favored mounts ability. And procs the Shameful Display to dishonor Kaiju Suichi. So Kaiju Suichi with 2 glory now brings him to 1 military skill versus Sung-Ho's 3. And now it looks like Sung-Ho's going to exhaust his Golden Plains Outpost to bring the Shinjo Outrider in. And now he's going to...
But he's already doing his 2 draws with the trader this turn, right?
I feel like maybe you should have waited to... And now he's going to play that guard duty. Okay.
That makes sense.
I feel like he could have just used the Shameful Display on the Shinjo Outrider instead of... Okay, so Julian's just going to give him the exhausted things. So that's a successful defense by Sung-Ho there. It's to claim the Void Ring. Now we'll see if Sung-Ho remembers the Keeper of Void trigger. Because he is the Keeper of Void, the Unicorn, he should be gaining a fate for successfully defending a Void conflict.
And it looks like he'll miss it.
Keeper of Void, I mean, Seeker triggers were something that I was really bad at missing in the beginning of this game, and I think Keeper is much harder to remember just because, in the heat of defending a battle where you got so many cards you're flinging around, at the end of the battle it's really hard to
So, attacks of the Borderlands defenders, no defense, breaks Shameful Display.
Yeah. So
And,
this was after Sung-Ho passed his second.
All right, so Sung-Ho does remember his Secret Void trigger. Julian is nice enough to let him have it.
Yep.
Julian gains the Imperial Favor. He had won 2 rings this round. And first player shifts over to Julian.
So Borderlands Defender with Watch Commander on it. I think it's and 1 fate still on it. It's going to be really tough for Sung-Ho to draw a bunch of cards this turn outside of the Edith Trader's ability. So, if he has a Spyglass in his hand, something like that, he might be able to recover. Does have a favorable ground, which is, again, good with the Edith Trader's ability to draw some cards.
Yeah.
Of course, Julian has a favorable ground of his own, and Ahita Kasada doesn't have a lot of money this cycle. Chooses to spend it on a Stoic Magistrate to start off with 2 fate on it. Stoic Magistrate ability says when it is defending, characters with, I believe, an even cost, or 2 or less.
2 or less.
Sorry, 2 or less. Don't contribute their skill to the conflict.
So it's not a great thing for Sung-Ho.
No,
Sung-Ho plays in an Itaku Infantry with a fate and also another Shinjo Outrider with 2 fate.
So only one of those cards on Sung-Ho's side has 3 cost or more,
yes,
which is the Edith Trader. So it's going to be, I think, really tough for Sung-Ho to push through a province break this turn.
I think this is just another round of him trying to build out his board.
Yep. So it looks like it was this time the bids were reversed. So 4 for 1 on Julian's side. So that allows Sung Ho to get a little bit of fate back. Sorry, a little bit of honor back, release some of that draw, or sorry, that honor pressure he had earlier. I do see another Watch Commander on Julian's side, which I think is a great defensive play on the Stoic Magistrate. Now, one of those holdings that got flipped up on Julian's side is the Imperial Palace, which is a fairly new card. I think it's the one that gives you +3 glory when determining who gets the Imperial favor, and it also gives the province that it's on +2 province strength.
He was just trying to decide his conflict.
So it looks like Julian passed his first conflict opportunity?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a political with the traitor, political fire on the tiers of, and it flips over tiers of Amaterasu.
So I think you got 1 fate for that? I think because he was only attacking with his Edict Trader. So that we're going to start off with, I believe it's 4 political strength on Sung Ho's side.
Right. So that's interesting. That's a void province.
Yep.
So that means no shameful display or pilgrimage, which it's tough to sacrifice those as options.
Well, shameful display in Crab isn't as good, just because a lot of your characters are 1 or 0 glory.
That's true.
And and shameful display compared to tiers, it's a province with 1 less province strength, obviously. So depending on how defensive your Crab deck is, you may want to go with tiers instead. So yeah, defends with Borderlands Defender.
Borderlands Defender. All right.
Ooh, starts off the Karuma Ambusher. It's going to blank the Edict Trader's ability for this conflict. So that puts him at 6 strength, Julian, for political defense.
Just trying to decide right now whether to put more fate on the ambusher. So that's unfortunate, but
yeah, he's just gonna send him home.
So he's using favorable grounds to send him home.
That's pretty good. I mean, as long as Julian doesn't have a mountain does not fall, this is actually pretty decent for him. Now, I think Julian, his plan for this turn, I think he's just gonna try pass his second conflict as well, because now that Sung Ho has a bunch of unbound characters, it makes no sense to chump attack, and then Stoic Magistrate, especially this turn, is going to be really good on defense. Effectively, the only thing that can push through any skill is going to be that Edict Trader, and it is going to be a military challenge.
And this is really just a matter of Sung Ho drawing some cards, I think.
Yep. Now,
I mean, with the favorable amount, he still could win the conflict here, so he still has a chance of getting a trigger off the battle.
Yeah, I would, in Sung Ho's shoes, I would just send in, I would probably have sent in like an Otaku Infantry and then sent in the Edict Trader to get the card drop.
Well, no, he can bring in 2 Outriders, or the Otaku Infantry. Like, he has lots of ways to bring characters in.
Now, the Edict Trader's ability is only once per conflict, so you can only draw a maximum 1 card. So that's going to be starting off, looks like it's going to be 3 military skill versus 2 on Sung Ho's side.
It's 3-3 because Julian has a favor.
Sorry, yes, the favor. You're right. Imperial favor. Julian also has access to the Crab Stronghold, which is going to give him an extra military. So unless Sung Ho has any additional tricks, Julian may just win. So he's going to do a Watch Commander. That's pretty good. So that's going to dissuade Sung Ho from playing any cards from his hand. going to use looks like favored mount to trigger the Eat a Traitor.
All right, pass it out.
Yeah. Okay.
So even though Sung Ho has a lot of glory on his characters, there's still the 2 rings plus the 3 for the Imperial Palace. So stands the ground to keep the Eat a Traitor around one more turn.
This game has probably been the most use I've seen out of a stand your ground, like, ever. So Julian playing a very effective crab game here. I mean, he's just trying to grind out his opponent.
Yeah.
Sung Ho, despite playing all these cards from his hand and, like, proccing the Eat a Traitor a bunch of times, he hasn't really made any headway. He hasn't broken any provinces. Julian's sitting at... He is in the lead with 1 broken province. I think at this point he's just waiting for an opportunity to grab a Hida Casada, maybe put some fate on it with some additional... and I was going to mention, but he just flipped it over. Like, if he does grab a Karada district, which just got flipped over on Julian's side, because Sung Ho has a bunch of attachments. Now he's going to just start moving those attachments onto his crab personalities. Favored mount on a Borderlands defender or a Stoic Magistrate, especially.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
It'd be devastating.
And just to note here, Julian did switch the favor over to political. Just knowing that the traitor is the only thing that has any strength well, now that he has the jury in play, it's a little bit different, but that was the only thing that had a cost greater than 2. So that couldn't be dealt with by the Stoic Magistrate.
So Motohiro, that new unicorn personality we were talking about earlier, the one that can move in and out of conflicts, very good partner to Eat a Traitor, of course, for that reason.
Yeah. And Casada comes in with 2 fate, so it's going to be a real uphill battle here for Sung Ho, I think.
3 to 4. So I will mention that Julian's splash in his crab deck is Dragon. Saw him draw Miramoto's Fury. So he's going to be very secure in maybe probably overcommitting a little bit on one of his conflicts just to try to push another province break this turn. Meanwhile, Sung Ho drew a Windswept Yurt on his side, which can gain both players either 2 honor or 2 fate, and then refill the province face up.
So Sung Ho goes with the Spy Bass on jury.
Okay. Now, Julian doesn't have any money, so that's why Sung Ho, I think, played the Spyglass now when he did, just to try to get as many uses out of that Spyglass before Julian steals it. Now, do you know that if Sung Ho uses Spyglass twice and then Julian steals it, does it still remember that it's been used twice that turn? So yeah, because it's not a new card anymore.
Yeah. So they're just Sung Ho is getting clarification about Borderlands Defender, who can be bowed by the Water Ring.
Yes,
it's not a card effect, so.
Yeah, very smart going after the Karada district. Eat a Traitor. Meditation to Tao, that's not bad for Sung Ho because the Eat a Traitor doesn't have any fate on him.
That's fine, but I think he probably wanted to bring some additional characters in. He really wants to get rid of Karada before that Spyglass is going to go away.
Well, he's gonna move Motohiro into the conflict with Golden Plains Outpost and draw the Spyglass, right? He just wants to see what Julian commits first, because if he commits the Stoic Magistrate, then he knows not to bring in the Outrider and whatnot. But he does commit the Magistrate to defense, so it looks like 1, 2, 3. No, sorry, 2 military for Sung Ho versus 3 for Julian. Oh, brings in Casada too. So make that 10 military on defense for. No, just Casada. Okay, so 7. still playing Tetris with his characters.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, yeah, that's it.
Well,
10,
yeah.
10, I think. So, Sungho has to kind of play around Quesada's ability here. I think he did this, Julian did this because he wants to make sure Quesada's ability is active for the entire round. So yeah, Sungho just decides he's not going to contest this, and Julian gets to claim the water round. So now it's Julian's turn to push through a conflict. Almost feel like this is just a probe, just to flip over another.
Well, it's
province.
also 2 fate off of the air ring, so. Now, Karate District is turned on.
Yep. And now I feel Sungho, I think he should. Oh, this is a political. That's smart. Is he? Ooh, endless plains. Which is, I mean, that's not bad for Julian. And I think he kind of suspected this, which is why he decided to just poke with the Perumna Ambusher.
But it's just unfortunate for Sungho because he's going to lose Endless Plains anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, so it did break. Still, the combat is still going on. He brought in Jiro.
Yeah, I think,
got a Spyglass trigger.
Yeah, he's doing this to draw a card and potentially turn off Hida Quesada for the rest of the conflict phase. So wait, he bows the favored mounts.
So he tried to bring him home with it.
Okay. Yep.
So it uses the Karate District to take the Spyglass. Sends Jiro home. The attack fizzles because there are no participants.
So that means Quesada's ability is still active, right?
Yes.
Okay. Finger of Jade going on Shinjo Outrider. He's playing more attachments out.
Well, I mean,
he's
I think
already used his one for the turn, but he's already used the Karate District once for the turn, but I don't know. Now, interesting. I saw in Julian's hand. There's a Way of the Crab, which at the end of this turn, it looks like Sungho is losing the Ida Trader and the Otaku Infantry. So I also saw an assassination in Julian's hand, which is probably why Sungho played the Finger of Jade on the Shinjo Outrider, suspecting that Julian might try to do a 1-2 punch of assassination into Way of the Crab. So that's a pretty good perception on Sungho's part there.
he really wants to get rid of the province with Karate District, but he realizes he probably doesn't have the strength to do it.
Now,
right, he does not want to lose a fate. So
the problem with, and the reason why playing against the Crab is so depressing is that Julian's deck runs 3 copies of Rebuild. So even if you manage to slog through a big fight just to destroy a Karate District, they're just going to play a Rebuild and throw it on another province.
So gains of fate with the Manicure Gardens.
Yeah, Julian firmly in control right now. He's taking his time breaking these provinces because he knows he has inevitability on his side.
Right.
Looks like a captive audience to change this into a military conflict.
Because of the Watch Commander, he's giving up 2 honor for that.
Yep.
Nope. So Sungho goes to 8.
Monastery coming down on Jiro. Yep. Golden Plains Outpost bringing in a Shinjo Outrider. Assassinate, yeah. Tries to assassinate, he's like, wait a minute. I just remembered this Finger Jade. No. Oh, no, okay, there we go. There's the assassin.
Assassination is a...
Yeah. So I also see an assassinate in Sungo's hand, but I don't think, with the exception of the Haruma Ambusher, Julian has played anything that costs 2 or less.
No.
And that's actually one of the reasons why I don't think I think I've stopped playing assassinate in a lot of my decks.
You
Because,
think so?
Yeah, like in core set there was a lot of like it was more important to be efficient and have a good like curve so you could play a bunch of guys out. But now with a lot of really good characters that cost 3 or more, Assassinate's value, in my opinion, has gone down quite a bit. Now I think I do see a Cavalry Reserves in Sungo's hand. Not entirely sure if that's the case, but that's gonna probably be a useful card.
Doubt it.
No?
If he would have used it, I think, because
Yeah, I think so too.
to make sure that he doesn't have the favor advantage and to break the province. Yeah, it's definitely not a Cavalry Reserve.
Cracking the Yurt.
Cracking the Yurt for 2 fate.
Child of the Plains gets revealed.
So is that Haruma Skirmisher?
The Haruma Skirmisher, the one military dash covert when it has when it enters this turn. So declaring a military void conflict, poking again, discovering a manicured garden, and he just immediately assassinates it. That's good because Haruma Skirmisher is a great candidate for Way of the Crab.
Yes. Gains of Fate from Manica Gardens.
Yep.
So Julian keeps a favor on political. Everyone resets their board. And Julian will be first player.
Sorry, not Julian. Sungo has slight advantage right now. Oh, no. He kept the... Oh, I think there was one fate on that.
There was.
Yeah, okay. So going into the next turn, I'm almost positive there's a Cavalry Reserve to Sungo's hand. I might just be misremembering the picture, but anyway. Decides to get rid of the Child of the Plains and the Moto Youth.
He has fate to spend, so he wants to see some bigger things.
Yep.
So, that's all right. Well, 2 copies of Alter Nasai, and a Honored Poet, Warrior Poet, right? And then a Keeper, which is neither here nor there.
Yeah, playing all your 5-cost characters, it's fairly safe against Crab because you know they probably don't have Cloud the Mind. He dupes Alta Sarnai.
Yeah, Julian has an unfortunate, very holding-heavy draw.
Yeah, this is the problem because he's kept all his holdings turn to turn. So this is a bit of I feel like it's a bit of an inevitability in this scenario, where he started with the Imperial Palace, then he got a Corona District, and now he has an Imperial Storehouse. He did have a Borderlands Defender, so that's actually fairly decent to only play. And now he does have 4 fate to play, like he has a bunch of conflict characters like that in his hand. They both bid 1. Not only because he has 3 honor, but he had a good omen in his hand as well, and I think he's looking to try to capitalize on that.
Right.
So I think Julian, what he could do here is he can try to steal the Finger Jade with Karada District.
Given the honor position he put himself in, I think, was he 1 ahead last time? Like, he could have good omen last turn. And I think he might have recognized that he was not going to have probably going to have an opportunity.
Yeah. So Julian had still kept the favor on the political side, but here's a military void conflict, sending in Motohiro against the Imperial Palace under the Manicure card. So I feel like you. Would you defend here with just the Stoic Magistrate? Yeah. It's going to be very hard for Sunho to play any cards here. He may have been trying, like, if I'm right, and he has a Cavalry Reserves in my hand, I feel like he's trying to set up a Cavalry Reserve play. But if he does do it against, and then Stoic Magistrate's in the conflict, well, first of all, he's gonna have to throw away an action ability to get around Hida Kasada.
That's easy enough.
Reserves. Yeah, I mean he does have the Golden Plains outpost, so he can just use, or Shinjo Outrider's ability. But then the problem is you play Cavalry Reserves, now you're on 2 honor, and then if Julian wants to, he can push through an air conflict. And then hopefully later on do like an unopposed conflict, and that's the last 2 honor.
Yeah.
So he's going to throw in Kasada too, probably because he suspects that there's going to be a Cavalry Reserves being played for a short.
Do you think so? I mean, I don't think he needs to defend that heavy. I think he just wants to keep Kasada's ability turned on.
Yeah.
So he did trigger someone. Did you try to send someone to the conflict? The Shinjo Outrider.
Yep.
That fizzled because of Kasada, and then he used Jiro's ability to send it home.
Nice. Mountain Descent Fall.
Oh.
Period.
Yeah.
So that's going to keep that honor pressure on for Sunho's next conflict. Yeah.
Well, it's also. Oh yeah, he's only got the Outrider now. That.
It's not just Stoic Magistrate's ability, right? It's the fact that it has Watch Commander on it.
Yes.
It's gonna make the difference here.
So plays in an ambusher.
Is this a between conflict ambusher?
This is a between conflict ambusher, which is a little odd. But there aren't really that many abilities that he needs to urgently turn off, and obviously he's going to be attacking alone with the ambusher.
An Earth conflict. Trying to get some juicy cards.
So, oh man, I got to remember to turn off and on the conflict thing. So for those who are watching, we do have the chat up. We're happy to answer any questions or clarify any kind of rules things you might have. We do also have a few matches up on our channel. So if you're watching on Twitch, check us out on YouTube, VTTV Live, to watch some older matches. We're doing 3 rounds today, and we'll also be putting those matches up on YouTube afterwards. So Julian uses the district to steal the Finger of Jade.
Very nice. Guard duty, gaining an honor. Or no, becoming honored. That would put him at. Now, guard duty, is it an action to become honored if it's defending, or is it a reaction?
It is an action.
An action. So that would put Motohiro at 7 military strength, I believe, when he triggers it.
But he first has to trigger something else.
Yeah. So Banzai, putting Julian at 6.
So he's triggering Euro's ability to try to send him home, which fizzles.
Right.
Now owes him up to guard duty. And then just old-fashioned fine katana.
So a charge in Sun-Ho's hand, but I don't think it's going to do much. Good Omen and Cavalry Reserves. He's going to bring in... Ooh, Asasane. So
Reasonable choice.
Put him in another 5 military strength, putting Sun-Ho at 12.
I mean...
Yeah, Julian's not going to press issue. Like, I know he doesn't have a lot of cards in his hand, but I kind of like how Julian is just sort of making Sun-Ho, forcing Sun-Ho to have it in terms of cards, and like that Hida Kasada is also choking Sun-Ho's options.
So Sun-Ho passes the second conflict.
Yeah.
And I believe Julian passed his as well. So, yeah.
So we might see Julian throw away the Imperial Palace this turn. I don't know, actually. He has 2 new cards, but especially given some of those board, he may just want to try to ensure that he has more opportunity to draw more conflict characters this turn.
I mean, those extra... The extra province strength has been helping him out.
Yep. So this was a Way of the Crab Julian just played. I can't tell if that was during the Fate phase. Yeah, I think it was a Fate phase. I think the reason why he did that was because now because Way of the Crab is only once per turn, and Julian does have another Way of the Crab, he may just want to sacrifice his borderline defender to try to get either Motohiro or Shinjo alternate Sarnaya out of his hand. But Sun-Ho, I think, is Sun-Ho still first player, or do you know if
Yes, he
Julian's
is.
now the first player?
Yeah, no, he's first player.
So Sun-Ho is going to have the opportunity to play a card first, which is going to let him. I mean, I don't know if Sun-Ho knows, but it basically stopped him from losing another big character in the Way of the Crab.
Yeah.
So Julian plays Kaio Envoy.
I mean, and that's why Sun-Ho played a character in with no fate. He knew that it was a possibility.
There's a Vanguard Warrior also on Julian's side. Very nice draw for him, so it allows him to keep Hida Kasada around for another turn. Julian hasn't drawn any reprieves yet either. So I think that's something he's also looking to draw.
So Vanguard Warrior does give Julian a way to keep Kasada around for another round.
Yep.
Yeah, so Julian does bid 3, giving Sun-Ho a bit more honor, taking some of that pressure off and putting some of that honor pressure back onto Julian.
Yeah, Julian's now only at 4 honor. I didn't even realize that, but Julian's now has got to be a bit careful here. Now, the thing is, he can actually just Karada District the guard duty on the Kaio Envoy and just use that, or put it on the Vanguard Warrior, just quickly with Dirty Way to get some honor.
It's true. So it looks like Sun-Ho's considering the air ring, so keep putting that honor pressure on.
Well, it's two-pronged, right? Like, he's also denying the air ring to Julian in case he wants to try to do the same thing. But now that Watch Commander on the Stoic Magistrate is gone, it's going to help him. I do see a Mountain does not fall in Julian's hand. Fine Katana, Ornate Fan. He's going to defend this attack on his Steadfast Witch Hunter's province with 3 of his characters. So it looks like 7, 8, 9, 10 defense for Julian. versus 1-6, I think.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, Judge. Victor's just going to go help with a judge question. So Sung Ho uses a charge that fizzles because of Kasada. I have a feeling it's probably because he has 2 charges in his hand. Julian did use his stronghold, so he's up to 13. Now, don't forget, Julian still has the option to steal guard duty, and it's only worth an additional 1 strength. So it brings Somo up to 13 as well, I believe. Oh, yeah, right. One, 6, 13, yeah. So put a fine Katana on Kasada. So that put him up to 15. So
does that make him a fine Kasada?
It's fine Kasada. It's a very fine Kasada. So Jiro heads back.
Did he use the Golden Plains Outpost to trigger Kasada?
No, he charged and then charged again.
Oh, okay,
or
he
didn't use his double charge.
Oh my gosh. That was... and the Mountain Does Not Fall.
Oh no.
I mean, he played that kind of out of order. He's supposed to play Mountain Does Not Fall first. Oh, okay. Sungho's, I think he's going to hold him to it. It's like you already played the... Yeah, but yeah, Fallen in Battle is if you win a conflict by 5 or more, you get to discard a character that was participating in it. So that's a huge swing. But I think he Sungho prison rolled him a bit with that Mountain Does Not Fall. That's fine. And here comes a Way of the Crab to get rid of Otaku Yujimo, I think is what she's called.
Yes. I mean, she was out there to soak the Way of the Crab, but that's still not a great trade.
Yeah, she's a pretty good character in her own right. So, and
it's just that Sung Ho had nothing cheap to bring out to sacrifice.
Again, right, this is what Crab does best. He just grinds you out. Like, Julian's broken 2 provinces. It doesn't look like he's in any huge rush to break the remainder, but...
Yeah.
So you see a let go.
I mean, I would probably use my Good Omens now, because I don't know if it's going to be playable in future turns.
Sungho's been really holding on to those cavalry reserves. So I think this is the turn where you're going to finally see him use it, hopefully.
He passes his second conflict.
Okay. I'm actually surprised he hasn't done it, like, because he does have a bunch of cavalry in his discard pile, right?
I think he's really thinking for him, he might be focused on, I need a 4 greater good before I make that play.
Oh, 4 greater glory, you mean?
4 greater glory, sorry, yeah. Fair good.
Do we know that's in Sungho's deck?
I absolutely know that's in Sungho's deck.
I see, okay.
I mean, with the Lion Splash that we've already seen with the Stand Your Ground, I mean, that's the obvious other include. And like in some respects, it's a better card in Unicorn than it is even in Lion.
You know, that actually makes sense why Julian seemed like not only is he trying to over-defend basically to keep Kasada's ability on, but I suspect Julian knows that For Greater Glory is in Sungho's deck, and so he's trying to prevent that from triggering. He's trying to grind him out by making sure that Sungho's got to pay for new characters every turn.
Yeah.
So we're deciding on is it Julian's first conflict of the turn?
Second conflict.
Second conflict. Sorry, this is Sungho's? No,
Sungho's passed his second, so this is Julian's second.
Okay. So it looks like a political fire against the Manicured Garden province. Was that Jiro defending?
Yeah.
So that's going to make it 4-4 because
he's honored. Sorry. Yeah, thank you. So he's gaining the Fate. The Fate fizzles.
And now it's in court games. He's going to dishonor the Borderlands Defender, put Julian at 3. And a Horde fan bringing him back to 5.
And Sungho has no answer here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Just fire off the Good Omen. A charge, Good Omen, and a Cavalry Reserve. So really nothing. Yeah, I mean, the Province is not breaking, but still, he's probably going to dishonor the Heated Trader. No, he's just going to. I don't know, that's a weird one, because like I feel like with a guard duty, you can just put the honor token back on, right?
So uses fire to take the honored from Euro, but he's got a Euro, sorry. Why is he waiting for them to get omens? I don't know.
There we go. Okay.
So he's going back, just asking if we do it during cleanup. I mean, to be fair, they haven't gone to the next round, so he can still play that during the Fate phase.
Yep.
So he didn't really miss his window of opportunity yet. They both have pile of Fate. Julian's got 13, and Sungho has 11.
So we have 9 minutes left on the clock. Now, if time runs out...
Sorry, we should probably let the players know they're under 10 minutes.
If time runs out, like, Julian will win this based on the provinces he's broken, I believe.
Yes.
And if he...
Well, no, it'll depend on...
2, 4,
2,
6,
2, yeah.
7,
Yeah.
versus 0.
He does not have favor. He does not have honor. He only has 5 to 2. All right, Steadfast Witch Hunter comes out for Julian. Motor Youth from Sungho. There's the Border Riders that Sungho loves so much. It's maybe over-investing in the Fate given how much time he knows left in the game. So just bidding. They both bid 1. Little surprise. Although Sungho might have considered trying to pull some cards. So I wonder if Julian takes control of guard duty after it's been used this turn. Is it considered to have been used, or is it considered to be replayed?
That was the question we had with Spyglass earlier, right? If he takes the Spyglass. I think it's the same object on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So I think if he's already
it's
used
never
it,
left play, so...
So he doesn't let go on the guard duty.
Yeah, so he let go because he's not going to be able to steal it before Sungho would have a chance to use it.
So I think with 7 minutes left on the clock, Julian just needs to aggressively prevent breaks. And yeah, I'm fairly certain he wins on tiebreakers.
He wins on tiebreakers, but it's not a clean win, right? He's ahead.
So you get 2 points for each province you broke in.
Yes.
You get 2 points for the Imperial favor.
1 for the Imperial favor.
Is a win. So it's 7.
2 for being ahead in honor. So 2 provinces,
so
and the favor is 5.
No. Oh, 2 provinces broken. Yeah, he just needs to break 1 more province. You're right. So then...
And Sungho was ahead in honor, so he has 2. So it's 5-3. You need 5 points to have a straight win. But to be honest, right now, right? Sungho is going to concede. So if it comes to that point, unless he breaks a couple provinces.
I think Julian, what he's...
Yeah, so Julian's just doing the math on his time.
Yeah.
So Julian ends up passing his conflict. So Sungho's attacking with 8 military into the tiers of Amaterasu. Defend with Steadfast Witch Hunter and Kasada. So that's 13-16 with a defense. Mountain does not fall on Kasada. That's his third mountain does not fall, which is pretty good considering I think they're maybe half the deck. So Sungho fizzles the Greater Plains. Then Jiro comes in. Draws a card with the Ida Trader.
So 13-16, but Julian hasn't used his Stronghold yet.
He is not.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to lose his conflict.
And Sungho's just waiting for Cavalry Reserve.
Cavalry Reserves.
Infantry.
I do see a Assassinating Julian's hand, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to play that.
And infantry? Well, no. Yeah, he can't afford to assassinate because the Borderlands Defender is likely going to bow due to the Water Ring.
Uh-huh. No, Ida Trader is not cavalry.
Yeah.
I think he's just picking out the cards that are not.
No, he's not. So, go. Yeah, so that was my bad too. Not nearly as impressive. Does he even have the points?
Yeah, it's Shinjo Alternate Sarnet. Did he? No.
Yeah, but he's not gonna.
Okay. Yeah, apparently the fact that it says Cavalry Reserves isn't just flavor text.
All right, so that takes him up to 20.
So this is a break, even with the.
No, it's not a break. No, if he uses his
If he
stronghold,
uses Stronghold, it's
it moves it at break
a
range.
But I do see a charge in Sungho's hand. So if he charges this out, he blanks the Steadfast Witch Hunter and the Borderlands Defender. Just wondering if he sees it.
Oh, so yeah, I guess he can use the Water Ring to bow Kasada.
Yeah, that's true. It's just a matter of Sungho sees this play here. Yeah. Now he assassinates the Border Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sungho needs to do this charge play. Or sorry, yeah, he loses the Border Rider. Yeah. Okay. There's a bonsai in Sungho's hand.
Oh.
No, I don't. Now he spends an honor, gets 4. This is still not breaking. There's a court games left in Sungho's hand and a charge. One minute left on the clock. This is most definitely going to be the last turn of the game. Maybe even the last. Well, if Sungho doesn't straight up concede, then yeah.
Yeah.
So eat a trader. Yeah, I feel like if Sung Ho played charge here, he would have.
No, I don't think he wants. I think his only chance here is an air ring. But I guess Julian just
So yeah, he bows Casada with a water ring. Yep,
so
okay.
Julian volunteers the right play for Sung Ho.
Okay, so water ring is in his possession. Now it's Julian's turn to do a. Man,
So Julian's just explaining how this resolves.
Okay. But then can't Julian now just do a conflict with the air ring, gain two honor while making Sung Ho lose one? Because, well, I guess it wouldn't be undefended. He can unbow as his border rider. Yeah. He's going to use the Steadfast Witch Hunter to stand Casada, I think. Yeah. So it didn't even matter with that play. He readies the border rider. So
just letting people know it's time in the round.
That's a good card.
Just going air military. So Sung Ho is just going to concede, so we're not going to play it out. All right. So we're going to have 2 more rounds from the tournament today. I'm not sure. I think everyone has conceded. So we'll probably be back in under 10 minutes, probably about 5 minutes or so. We'll be back with the next round. So stay tuned. We'll be back with you soon. So, yeah. Hello, and welcome back to this Way of the Rings event from 401 Games. In this round, we have Rob up against Eugene, playing Kraid against Scorpion. Good to see two different clans up for the second round. Both Kraid and Scorpion, I think, were looked at very favorably at Worlds, and I don't think they've gained as much strength as some of the other factions have in the Imperial cycle so far. I don't think they've got bad cards, but I think there's been more excitement and enthusiasm on some of the other factions and what they've picked up. So just getting all the players settled for the second round. Just to remind everyone, we will be doing 3 rounds today, so it'll be this round and 1 round after this. We didn't have that many people show up today, so everyone will actually be going home with an alt-art champion. Yeah, Victor is back now.
Hello. So those who may have remembered, who have watched our videos on our channel will remember Eugene. In the previous Imperial Summons tournament, he was also playing Scorpion. And he was playing like a Dragon Drop Bear version. Now, I'm not sure if he's changed his deck between that time and this, with the new cards coming out in the different Dynasty packs. But who won that one? Eugene won that one. He went scissors. Yeah.
Yeah, so Rob's going to go first.
Okay. Gene, he's showing us those really cool looking Scorpion Fate tokens.
I'm gonna say this is one of the games where I actually really like the original cardboard tokens.
Yeah, me too. They're small enough that when you put them on a character, it doesn't like completely obscure the text. Like, it's really cool, and I think that this game offers a lot to those people who really like to kind of declare themselves for a clan, to kind of show off their clan loyalty in a sense.
Though I will say that I do like the honor coins from Worlds. Just having 1s and 5s make it a little bit easier to manage your honor.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan. Like, I usually don't mind dice for marking things, but I'm not a huge fan in this game.
Oh, you mean like for marking things like honor and fate, right? Yeah. Like for province strength, or sorry, for skill strength, I don't mind that much, but
absolutely, that's I think is reasonable because it's very temporary. And I guess it's just there's a lot of people I've seen who are using like a 20-sided die, and it's like a model die, and it's like at a glance you're not realizing what the number is. But I mean, that's just being picky.
So this is going to be interesting, as both clans are very political heavy. It's going to be almost kind of the opposite of what we saw in the last round, with two very heavy military clans going at it.
Yeah.
Eugene showing us favorite ground, Shishiro Actress, Bayushi Yanako, and a Manipulator. On Rob's side, we see Doju Hataru, I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Savvy Politician, Asahina Artisan, which was Rob's first play, and the Guest of Honor. So both players starting with their 1-drops. Actress, generally not a good play turn 1. So Manipulator is something that allows you to increase your bid by 1 after you reveal dial. So very good, not only for drawing extra cards, but in Scorpion, if your opponent keeps matching you bid for bid, it's still a way to farm honor from them.
Guest of Honor comes in with 2 fate on it.
Yep. Really good card against Scorpion because they tend to be event heavy when they play conflicts. Speaking of events, we see 2 powerful ones in Eugene's hand, a policy debate and a Forged Edict.
Yeah, so the Polydeuce debate came out, 2 packs ago, and it allows you to declare a political duel. And if you win, you get to look at your opponent's hand and choose and discard a card. What is the effect?
The winner gets to choose, yeah. So it's a really strong card, and I think that the winning crab deck it was the winning crab deck at Madrid kind of showed that basically any clan can run that event.
Yeah, because you almost always will have one opposing character and one of your own characters where it's a favorable point spread on political, even if your deck is not very politically focused. Eugene does decide to bring Hiru in with, or no,
Yunako,
sorry.
Bayushi Yunako. She's the one that allows you to switch military and political skill during a conflict.
I saw the 4 costs and I immediately went to the other character.
So it looks like 5 to 3.
Is Eugene going to modify his bid?
We'll see. Now, generally, I feel like the proper thing to do when you're playing against Scorpion
So
is
he does not choose to modify his dial, or he did. Because he gave away 3 fate. So he did use the manipulator's reaction. Now, the manipulator's reaction is interesting now that there's a duel that Scorpion wants to play. Because it gives you the flexibility to, optimize your bids, or even bid higher than your opponent possibly can. With such a common duel now in almost all decks, you start to wonder if contingency plans might start to see a little bit of play, which allows you to modify your bid in either direction.
Contingency plan is a tough one, just because you're basically losing a card. I mean, if the duel is good enough, important enough, then I can see that being justified. But contingency plan I've actually seen used in these Honor Rush Way of the Chrysanthemum decks.
Yep.
That try to rush to 25 Honor with Way of the Chrysanthemum, and then you contingency debate yourself down to a zero bid. But we're going to see Rob start off with a Guest of Honor doing a political conflict air against the Shameful Display province. Shameful Display, big game against Crane.
Yeah, I don't think that's what he was hoping to see.
Now, Rob does have Asahina Artisan as backup.
Yeah.
As well as Yunako to potentially switch the Guest of Honor's strength if it does come to that.
Oh, sorry.
Now, I'm not sure. Does Bayushi Yunako require her to be in the conflict?
No.
I feel like it does. Okay.
No, it doesn't.
But anyway, he's decided to commit her.
But even just a Shameful Display is enough to flip it. I don't really see anything in Rob's hand that is super great. I mean, he can wave the Crane back up.
I see a First Shame in his hand as well, so you can use it to remove the honor token.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's going to bring him back to 4. So he is technically still winning this conflict.
That's true.
Although I feel like with Shameful Display, especially if you're Crane, you just want to try to break it as soon as possible. Yeah, so it looks like Eugene's just going to be...
So he uses Yunako's ability to flip the point values in Guest of Honor.
So here's a for shame. Yep. Okay. So that's going to bring him to 2 political strength, I believe.
It will.
Yeah. Now Rob is looking
Puts
for
him
his hand.
puts him in range of the stronghold. Crane stronghold lets you bow a character in a political conflict with 2 or less strength.
Yep. Yeah, so without the ability to play any events from his hand, I don't think there's much that Eugene can do here.
I may have just bowed to maintain the honor.
Yeah.
But I always forget about the Crane stronghold when I'm playing against Crane, so
I feel like it's one of those strongholds that's largely irrelevant most of the time, but when it is relevant, it's a blowout.
I feel like when I'm playing against Crane, it's always relevant. I feel like I'm always like having to make a awkward play to work around it.
Yeah.
So Eugene was just asking if it's okay to go back to trigger Seeker. So Rob's okay with that. Yeah, Eugene's just deciding if he has an action. He passes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then he gets bowed. Yeah.
Eugene was a little had forgotten.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, I just feel like if he had known that was gonna happen, he would just use his favorable ground to move his guy back out of the conflict.
No, I think he would have just bowed. He might have.
Right, because then you can just do a military conflict with the.
I mean, I maybe would have just bowed on the first shame, kept the honor. Just, it's one of the Scorpion characters where honor is actually a pretty big boost.
Yep. So Artisan buffing the Guest of Honor.
Yep.
It's going to put him to 3, I believe. Or sorry, 4?
4.
And
and a Komodo.
Nice. So that's going to honor the Guest of Honor, which is actually going to turn on his Voice of Honor in Rob's hand. So that's a double win for him. And he gets to break the Shameful Display. So this is a really good first conflict for Rob.
That worked out very well for Rob.
So Rob gets to claim the air ring now. And I think he gains 2 honor off the air ring.
Yeah. Huh. Does that mean we're going to see some way of the Chrysanthemum shenanigans this game?
Oh man, I would hope so. If he indeed does the contingency plan Way of the Chrysanthemum, I'd be so happy. So he's going to do a political water. Here. Ooh, nice. Yeah, stand your Yanako. I mean, if your opponent doesn't have anything in his hand, a Steward of Law or something like that. I mean, even if he had the Steward of Law,
he'd still win.
Well, now it's his turn. If only he had something to trigger it, though. Yeah, I don't think he has anything. I see a Court Games in his hand, which actually could
turn off the conflict.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I feel
Eugene
like
has an answer.
I feel like Eugene should have done well. I mean, I guess if he did a military conflict, he'd use Bonsai, but I think the reason he's doing political here is just so he can stand Yanako to do a military conflict
absolutely.
Afterward. So I see a policy debate also in Rob's hand. But aside from that, I actually don't think there's much you can do here.
No. All right, he passes.
So he's gonna lose an honor here for being undefended. So let's see if they remember that. Yes, they do. Stands Yanako. And we're gonna go into another conflict. This time, probably a void conflict, I feel like, would be the best case here. To try to get that Guest of Honor off the table as quickly as possible. No, opts instead to go for fire. Fire military on the Shameful Display province, Dinako. So this is almost certainly going to be a break here. And he actually may be looking to re-honor his Yunako because he suspects Voice of Honor. Yeah.
Oh. Is that... were we getting mixed up? Is that a for shame and not a Court Games? Because with Court Games and a Voice of Honor in his hand, I think he could have prevented that. Maybe he didn't realize that the stand was going to be as bad as it was. Realizing that giving him the Water Ring was going to... Because Court Games can be a little risky because if something else happens, then you're in trouble, but... If you can cancel the responding Court Games, then there's less to worry about.
And another effect of him winning those two conflicts meant that he got the political favor this turn as well. So that put Eugene slightly ahead going into the second turn. So 2 Liars and a Yunako. Normally this would be a fairly weak draw, but with Yunako having the ability to push through a military conflict, and then you have the Liars both on political defense, also being immune to the Stronghold's ability for Crane, and also the ability to possibly break a political conflict by themselves. It's pretty good. I did see a Pathfinder's Blade in Eugene's hand, so that confirms the Crab Splash.
Yes. So and Rob obviously going with Phoenix.
So I feel like this is indeed different from Eugene's drop bear strategy that he employed during the Imperial Summons event. He's going for a bit more of an aggressive style of Scorpion here. So if I were to guess, his splashes are probably Haruma Ambusher, Pathfinder's Blade, Reprieve. Potentially Watch Commander. Like it's possible you could be running 2 Watch Commanders, 3 Pathfinder Blades.
I was thinking about this, trying to make sure they're making the right call.
So easy first play for Eugene. Liar, he's probably going to just play the other Liar and pass. So he's going to be left with a lot of money going into the conflict phase. Asahina Storyteller on Rob's side.
With 2 Fate on it.
Yep. So that's, I believe, each honored character gains sincerity on Rob's side.
Yes, and it has sincerity
itself. As well as being, I believe, a 2/4.
That's correct.
So not
it looks like Eugene passes preemptively.
Yep.
Collects a Fate.
So just based on the characters I see this turn, it looks like Rob is it's a bit of a more mid-range political deck with a heavy emphasis on honoring. So Origami Master, Savvy Politician, Magnificent Kimono, as well as the Storyteller, leads you to believe that he's trying to make a bit of a draw engine out of the Storyteller itself. So Eugene actually only played 1 Liar and then passed. So he just wants to choke Rob out a little bit on Fate.
2 and 4, so that's going to be 2 honors switching sides. Bring Eugene down to 6.
Yep.
And Rob's still at 14. 15, sorry.
So part of Eugene's draw, I see a Reprieve. So that's going to keep
plenty of Fate to spend.
Yeah.
Pops his Imperial Stronghold to draw another card.
Yeah, which was another Pathfinder's Blade. He's probably going to slap that on Yunako here.
So Rob is not familiar with Pathfinder Blade.
Yeah, Pathfinder Blade is one of those really good breakout cards. Like it's been amazing for Dragon, but pretty much every clan that has a Seeker role at some point has tested with this card. It's really good, especially considering some of the more devastated provinces like Shameful Display.
So, do you want to tell people what it does? Because there's probably a few people who are watching that are still not up on all the card
It's a crab attachment, costs 0, has +1 military, +0 political. Secret roll only. And the text on the card says, interrupt. When a province's triggered ability would initiate, you can discard the Pathfinder's Blade to cancel the effects. So you can just throw that on something, run into a province. Could be an Endless Plains, could be
Restoration of Balance.
Restoration of Balance, it doesn't matter. You just sack the Pathfinder's Blade and you're immune from its effects. So he starts off by, not starting off, but he's going to remember to just grab an honor back from Rob using the City of the Open Hand. And then he's going to start off by declaring a military Earth conflict on an unrevealed province with just Yunako, running into
the Art of Peace.
Art of Peace.
So Art of Peace, it was in the core set. It's the Crane province. Basically, when it's broken, all defending characters are honored, all attacking characters are dishonored.
So it's like a mega Shameful Display.
Yes. Only if you lose the province.
Yes. Which is a bit of a double-edged sword, because if you throw too many characters in because you want to get them honored, it's not going to break.
Well, I mean, this is a great place for actually him to throw Savvy Politician in.
Yes.
So Savvy Politician, I mean, if he's willing to lose another province, he may want to try to defend here, but Yunako's pretty strong right now.
Yeah. Well, and then it's also got a Pathfinder Blade, so I don't think Yunako's going to want, Eugene's not going to want the Art of Peace to be triggered.
I thought it was only on the revealed effects.
No, triggered abilities.
Oh, sorry.
So on breaking, on reveal, action abilities.
Okay.
All that stuff. That's why everybody's trying to play it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you either just let this go, in which case it doesn't trigger, or you defend it aggressively, hoping to... I don't know, but because he's running Phoenix, like I don't think he's got any sort of attachment control. So, and his military isn't that great either. Yeah, he's just gonna let this go undefended. And
starts the Pathway to Evade to present the dishonor.
Yeah, he only used it to prevent the dishonor. That's well, he's got another Pathfinder Blade in his hand. I mean, you might as well. So plucking
Tree of Earth. Censure. Not meaningful to well.
Yeah.
Rob's just looking at his options here. It's getting pretty loud in here. We do have a bunch of Magic drafts running.
Yeah, the unstable release happened this weekend, so they're doing draft till you drops here.
Rob's considering a Void Conflict. Get rid of Yunako turn earlier is going to be pretty great for him.
Yeah, unbeknownst to Rob, though, Eugene has a reprieve in his hand. This is not going to do a lot for him. I feel like it's
still one less turn, whether he has a reprieve or not.
Now here's a meditation. So speaking of removing something a turn earlier.
Yeah.
So currently it looks to be 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
As far as political strength goes. So if he threw the liar in, he could prevent the break. Which actually might be the correct play here.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. I mean, I see an unassuming Yojimbo in Eugene's hand, so he could let this break, then he could play the Yojimbo and covert past the Guest of Honor.
Fair.
With both the Yojimbo and the Liar, and then break another province. But, nope. Chooses to defend instead. So first action goes to Eugene.
I have a feeling we'll see a court games on the Savvy Politician.
Yes.
Which will be an additional 3 strength on Rob's side.
I think court games following into a policy debate using your storyteller, which is going to be 6 political strength. Might be a really good play as well.
That would be a really good play. Get rid of that policy debate.
Yeah, he's working with. But Yanako from the hand. Sorry, yeah, no, sorry, Bayushi. What's her name? Kachiko.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Oh, it's huge. So this thing is brutal. It sends home and bows a character as long as it has higher political strength. Which actually, if Rob plays court games here, he can actually prevent the storyteller from going home, because both Kachiko and storyteller will both be at 6. So let's see if he sees that play. And is that an omit defeat I see in his hand as well? No, Voice of Honor. So actually, he also plays the Voice of Honor. Sorry, yeah. Playing the court games also turns on his Voice of Honor, but we're going to see a Forged Edict here. And Rob can't Voice of Honor that because they both have an honored character in play. So Bayushi Liar getting the dishonor here. Doesn't matter at all as far as strength goes. And now we see a policy debate between Kachiko and the Savvy Politician. I feel like Savvy Politician should get an automatic +3 on policy debate.
You think, yeah, it makes sense. 1 and 2, all right.
Yeah.
Want to make sure it goes through?
I mean, his hand is small enough already that it doesn't really matter. I would probably take the For Shame here, I think. But it doesn't actually matter because I think Eugene's going to win this conflict.
Court game's gone.
Yeah, he's going to send home the storyteller, I feel.
Why?
Because you get to bow it.
Too.
Yeah, it gets bowed. So this is a storehouse crack.
There's the favorable ground, so you could actually save it to move her in and use it another time.
That is true, yes.
Poor Rob. Rob's just like, oh yeah, meditations, right. Okay.
Although you send home and bow the storyteller, then you send home Kachiko. And then the only thing...
That's true.
Well, I guess... Because the guest of honor is actually at 6 strength as well, so you couldn't use Kachiko on that guest of honor.
Yeah.
Unless you somehow were able to honor Kachiko. So here's a fan on the storyteller. So that's going to bring him to 6, so now that actually makes it immune to Kachiko. But Eugene's still winning this conflict. Yeah, and here's a Way of the Scorpion. And now the door's open once again. And remember, Eugene is operating with perfect information of Rob's hand. So I think he's like just very confident he's going to win this. No reaction for me.
I think he was just thinking potentially a policy debate against the liar.
That would make it a 4 versus 3.
Well, I think that was the play with the fan.
Yeah.
Was to try to make that potential.
But Eugene has so many cards in his hand. Like, I usually don't want to. Like, I don't know. He's losing already.
Yeah.
The conflict. I don't know. I think he may want to save the policy debate for when the guest of honor is in a conflict. And so, as we predicted, Eugene cracks his favorable ground, sending home Kachiko. After sending home the storyteller bowed. One thing I will note, though, he forgot to actually trigger the Meditations of the Tao before doing that ability.
Nope.
So
He took one off the storyteller.
oh, was there 2 Fate on the storyteller?
There was 2 Fate on the storyteller.
Okay, sorry, I must have missed that. Pathfinder Blade. This is so disheartening when you see that, and then because you're like, ha ha ha, you're gonna run into my province, and you play that card.
So Rob's just pointing out that he missed his own Seeker earlier.
Yeah.
Eugene, because he took it late as well, is fine. He's fine with him taking it, even
Nice
though
guy.
we're well past the point in the game.
So we're gonna see a political conflict here, fire conflict.
No, that's no triggered ability.
It's an entrenched position,
but
yeah, it doesn't matter because it's political. What, 6? 6 political. Fire. I feel like Rob wants to defend this.
I don't think. No, there's no point. Yunako still hasn't used his ability, so Guest of Honor is. Oh, charge? No, sorry, what?
Oh, Yunako hasn't used ability.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry, too many Bayushis to keep track of.
that's all right.
Yeah. So this is actually 7 political strength because of the Imperial favor on Eugene's
Sure.
side. Yeah. Eugene just pointing that out. So 4, 5, 6. Eugene not able to play any events, so if Rob has something that can maybe dishonor or bow Chico. But instead, nothing gets played. He wins the ring but does not break the province.
Yeah, I guess even if he would have reversed.
Yep.
So they did miss the Pride trigger, which is a force trigger. Should probably let him know. We won't, like, if they miss an opportunity, we won't tell them. But if it's actually something that's forced and affects the board state, since we're also judges for the event, we'll give them the heads up. So yeah, even if he had used Yunako, he would have been 1 short of breaking the province.
Yep.
Alright. Eugene might want his fate, but which is Rob is pointing out now. Oh, or not, he's just pointing out first player. So, a pretty mediocre flop for Eugene right now. But he also has a lot of, it still has characters in his hand. So the fact that his dynasty is not that strong, probably it's not a big concern for him. Rob does have some characters to work with, but he's got an uphill battle. Victor's just reminding them to reset the rings, put out some favor. And now we're just waiting on Rob to decide which character he wants to put into play. So he is going to go with his champion. And with 2 fate. I expect Eugene will at least put the liar into play.
I feel like this turn you just play all your guys out. I don't know. Because what you can do is you have superior military strength with just Yunako and Seppin Guardsmen. You send those both in to break a province, preferably the non-entrenched position one. I don't know. Then you just declare an all-out political against the stronghold field. Brass Samurai coming out on Rob's side. Yeah, the Seppin Guardsman with one fate. Interesting. Yeah, I guess if you're showing a distinct lack of military prowess on your dynasty flop, you just may want to ensure that that thing is going to be sticking around for another turn. But yeah, I think he's just going to play all his guys out.
I think so. And likely steal it on honor as well.
Yep.
They've been here forever.
If he remembers. Oh, he had two Chico duplicates in his hand.
Oh my gosh.
So 2 more fate on her.
I'm going to take it to military.
And that's still the honor.
So yeah, it's a very difficult position. Rob's engine, unfortunately, because he's playing against Scorpion, hasn't really triggered the Storyteller at least once. I'm not even sure if it's really going to do anything by the time this game is over.
So it actually gives 1 honor back to Eugene.
Court Mask and Way of the Scorpion, the draw here.
Yeah, it looks like a forced shame, and I didn't see the last 2 cards on Rob's side. So just a reminder to people watching, we are doing 3 rounds today. This is the second of those 3 rounds. So we'll be back after this game for 1 more. And you can find these and other matches on our YouTube channel. So if you happen to be on Twitch, you can check us out, VTTV Live, on YouTube as well, to watch these and earlier matches. I think this may be our last live stream before the holidays. But for folks who do watch multiple games, we will be covering the X-Wing Regionals from here in Toronto on the 6th of January. And then I'm certain at least one L5R tournament later in the month. And hopefully be bringing some individual videos from some casual play in between.
Hopefully when the quarterly kits get released for L5R, if indeed there are quarterly kits, we're going to be doing those at least once a month. Destiny Regionals is happening 26th of January. We're going to see if we can get some of that going on for you.
And if you want to make sure you're reminded about some of these things or see when new videos show up on our channel, please go subscribe on our channel. If you have any other L5R fans who are looking for good gameplay content, let them know. We'll be producing content on a pretty regular basis for Legends of the Five Rings. They're right. He did take the fire ring last turn. They were just debating on they left too many rings out and put too much fate back.
So looking through Eugene's hand, definitely has the tools to push through a province break on a military conflict this turn. The Pathfinder Blade on the Kachiko's a bit awkward, but
Kachiko can just send anyone home.
Yeah, at this point she's sitting at 8 political strength.
8? Is that? Does she not have 3 honor? 3
honor. Sorry, 9 political strength.
3 glory.
But it's Rob.
So
that's
experimental, large political battle he's declaring.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Starting strength of 15. But I mean, you know, Kachiko can come in and send Ataru homebound.
Yep. And what did he do? He did a air ring. You know, I feel like you could even just let this go, and then you counterattack with political, and then a military conflict on the stronghold.
Yep.
I think that's GG. So that is a pilgrimage, I believe, was the province that got revealed.
So he did remember to take his fate for
Yep.
Void Ring this time, for his Seeker roll.
So if he doesn't break the province, he doesn't get to trigger the air ring. Does have a lot of political strength, but I just feel like it'd be in Eugene's best interest to just let this go. But no, chooses instead to defend with Kachiko. She can send home Guest of Honor.
You can send home Hataru.
Hataru too.
Yeah, it's a bit grim. And then Yunako can switch some stuff around if it really.
Also commits the liar.
I assume he's.
So yeah, sending home the Guest of Honor. Now that
That lets him opens up events.
yeah. Now, I think what Eugene's plan may be for this turn is just to do a military break, perhaps, and then because going
He'll be
into
first player.
yeah, first player plus Rob's gonna be losing the Storyteller, the Brash Samurai, and the Guest of Honor this turn. So what was that card he just played?
For shame.
For shame. On Kachiko or the Liar?
So just going to remove the honor off of Chico.
So now only at 10, I believe, political strength for.
So he's playing
Eugene.
court games on Rob, so Rob has to choose. All he can do is put it on Hataru.
So now it's 10 for Eugene and 7. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to the dishonor. They're forgetting the political favor, so. Sorry. I realize I'm the only one who's hearing the table audio, so I'm responding to things that they're saying you guys don't know.
Ooh. Ornate Fan, bringing Taro back up to 9. Or sorry, bringing his side up to 9.
But I mean, why? The win is not worth anything.
Maybe Rob thinks he can push something through. I don't know if there's any other cards in his hand though.
Like
he may be setting up for
I'm
a
worried that
policy
he's thinking
debate,
that he
though.
really wants Satoru to.
Ooh, Kimono. So the Kimono brings him up to 10. But Eugene has so many cards in his hand. It just doesn't seem like it'll actually do anything. Because now all he has to do is play Court Mask on the Liar. You know, instead decides to force shame, and because she's already dishonored, there goes a huge bow. And that just cuts off a whole, 3, 4, 5, 6?
5? 6, sorry, yeah. Alright. Both players pass.
So successful defense on Eugene's side. And so I feel like we're going to see maybe a water ring counterattack, military, to maybe stand Kachiko.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So as we suspected, it's going to be a water military conflict against the unrevealed province with Kachiko and perhaps the guardsman. Or maybe he's going to hang the guardsman back on defense just for the brash samurai. Nope. He's going to throw in the guardsman as well.
He has to assume that the samurai is going to defend this.
So this is before the throne got revealed. 5 strength province. And when the province is broken, he gets to take 2 honor from Eugene. So it's a good thing that Rob didn't win that double air ring. Otherwise, Eugene may have been really pressured to not break this province this turn. But as it stands, you're looking at 8 military to 0. If Rob decides to defend with his brash samurai, he can bring it up to 4, which is not enough to break the province. Of course, we know that Eugene has a fine katana, bonsai, and a court mask in his hand.
Big dude time. I did.
Rob's just being careful, making sure that he's not missing anything, any opportunities that he might have.
I should last for free. Interesting. I love her player, so oh my.
Still deciding on defenders. I think it's. I just feel like it's in Rob's best interest to let this go. Like, I understand that now brings him open to attack politically on the stronghold, but I think you're kind of forced into a race situation, and that's what indeed he does. Decides not to defend, loses an honor, but then takes 2 honor from Eugene, and of course Eugene will stand Kachiko.
I guess you've got to you try attacking, try to take the fire ring, make it harder for Kachiko to break your stronghold.
This voice of honor in Rob's hand really hasn't been useful all game. Policy debate, it's not going to be much use against Kachiko either. So it looked like Rob passed his conflict, perhaps. So he's going to go into with the unassuming Yojimbo, which is of course going to covert that brash samurai. This might be the killing blow here. And yeah, all the Otoma courtiers, the big courtier herself, and the unassuming Yojimbo at the stronghold with a Pathfinder's blade. This is rally the cause. It's not going to do anything. So yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no defenders, no cards in hand. This ring choice is really just academic.
Yeah. So Pathfinder Blade goes away to prevent the rally from triggering.
Yep. So there's a handshake. All right. So that was actually a very good example of Bayushi Kachiko use. I was skeptical about her being a very expensive conflict card. But Eugene really demonstrated its ability, especially in against a deck that has high political strength of their own. So that's going to be the conclusion of round 2. We've got one more round coming for you in about 15 minutes or so. So thank you all for watching. Please stick around and come back in a few minutes as we cast the final round.
Hello and welcome back to the third and final round of our Way of the Rings event here from 401 Games in Toronto. We're VTTV. On the mic we've got myself, Travis, and Victor. We're running the event and doing some live streaming. We'll also be posting these videos up on our YouTube channel after the event. So we have two 2-0 players. We have John on the left and Eugene on the right, both playing Scorpion. John, as you can see by his mat, was at the Grand Cote in Philly at PAX Unplugged a few weeks ago.
Sporting a lot of swag from that event too, I think.
Yeah, he's got the tray, he's got the honor coins. I don't know what he played at the event.
He's a dyed-in-the-wool Scorpion player. Like, that's all he plays. So I'm gonna assume he also played Scorpion.
Right. So I'm guessing prize wall for the honor coin, not so much most honored clan. Traditionally, the honored coins are given out to the clan for a given day with the most honor. Unlikely to be Scorpion at any given event. So he probably went to the prize wall and cashed in some of his points for those.
So I think this is actually the first mirror match we've had on camera at VTTV Live. So
well, it's the first repeat of clan at all we've had.
Yes. So it's going to be interesting to see. Ooh, lots of Yoga Haru. And it looks like John is definitely much more of a hard control Scorpion deck versus what we saw at last round. Eugene's definitely seems much more aggressive.
From his decks in Destiny and Conquest and Game of Thrones, we know John loves control. That's what he always plays.
So those of you who may be familiar with John's likeness on camera, he is also the proprietor of the Starkiller Base channel. So any of you who are Destiny fans probably already recognize his work. But he decided to try his hand at Legend of the Five Rings. He does a lot of community building up in northern Toronto, helping to get a bunch of game nights going up there at 401 Games in the Vaughan location. Also, he's generous with alt art. So you see at the top of the screen, his City of the Open Hand looks a little bit different from Eugene's. It is, of course, a foil version of that card made by John himself. So Eugene opening with Yogo with 2 Fate on him and a Seppin Guardsman. John with the Bayushi Lyre. And I think he just passed early, right? So John's Fate is shown by the... It's kind of hard to see, but it's a bit above his stronghold. It's the 8 Scorpion icon thingies that he has. Yeah. Probably a double 5.
Very surprised with
right?
2 5s here. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, you bid less, and then your opponent just takes the honor back. So there's really no point.
So I think John has an assassination in his hand.
Yep.
Which at least starts opening him up to start stealing back some honor. But, you know, assassinating a guardsman is not a particularly impressive play.
Although I will say, I mean, without anything else on John's side of the board, that guardsman's getting in unmolested.
Yeah. Well, John has a ton of fate. I wouldn't be surprised to see some characters in his hand.
Yeah, unassuming Yojimbo.
Yeah.
Not the kind of card I'd want to play on defense, really, unless it's a province you really want to protect, but...
He also has that back alley, so that'll give him a chance to one of his conflict characters, keep him around and potentially play him in a future phase.
So I feel like Eugene's thinking about throwing a Pathfinder Blade onto the Seppin Guardsman. He also has a unassuming Yojimbo of his own, but no fate to play it with.
No.
So he's going to start things off with Seppin Guardsman attacking with an Earth Conflict on Yogo's province. Pilgrimage gets the 1 fate. No, I'm not sure if that was him trying to defend with the lyre or him just sliding the thing over.
Yeah. No,
so let's just assume that's not defending.
I think it's safe to say that he's not making an illegal move this early in the game.
No, only if I try to make an X.
So yeah, just letting that go. the fact that he needs 3 more strength means that it's going to be challenging to...
Pilgrimage is a really good province for getting your opponent to overcommit on cards. I've found it actually a lot more useful than Shameful Display in a lot of situations. Now, of course, Scorpion being Seeker of Void can run both Pilgrimage and Shameful Display.
Yep. But because in a lot of cases, Scorpion will benefit from the honor less than other factions, you've seen a lot of them will play Pilgrimage over Shameful Display. Yep. Back when they were Seeker of Air and didn't have, the choice to take both.
Yeah, the loss of running both Secret Cache and Manicure Garden hurts a bit, especially for the more control-oriented version of this deck. But yeah, it's like you said, Travis. Shameful Display, as far as honoring your own characters go, generally doesn't help you as much in that regard.
I think John's already passed here, and Eugene's just deciding.
Yeah. So he does get the ring, although he does not get an effect.
So John also is going to take an honor, giving him the opportunity to take one.
Yep.
From Eugene. So all in all, that was just great for John.
Yeah, that's almost like water ringing yourself.
It's basically like, I guess if he takes an honor, he just gives it right back. So.
Yeah. So here's going to be a political fire onto that province, revealing Meditations of the Tao. Now we'll see if Eugene lets this one go, actually, or if he's going to send in Yogo. I just feel like that's a bit of a waste with Yogo. I do see a Fate Worse Than Death in Eugene's hand. He's still a ways off from playing that card. Of course, Fate Worse Than Death, one of the new cards from the latest pack, Fate Has No Secrets. Very strong effect. Of course, everyone's running Finger of Jade these days, so...
Which is?
Oh, the effect is, was it Dishonor, Bow, Send Home, Remove 1 Fate?
Yes.
Yeah, everything in the...
Everything but kill.
Oh, so policy
it moves, her and immediately policy debate.
This is interesting. I wonder what the bid's going to be like. I think... Do you just both bid 5 here? See, having a policy debate between two strengths that are very close together actually becomes a test of wills, and they both bid 5 here. So Eugene is going to take a look at John's hand, see if there's anything worth taking. I Can Swim has been turned off. The way the Scorpion actually is going to do almost 0 here in this game, because it only affects non-Scorpion characters. So actually, with the exception of For Shame, I think there isn't really a lot in John's hand that really can affect this fight. Although there is 2 For Shames in his hand.
I mean, you get rid of the character, right?
You bow the character, you mean?
No. The conflict character in his hand.
Oh, I see, yeah. Because you do have a lot of money, right? You just don't want to get counterattacked. Especially with the Bonsai. Yeah, Censure not doing anything right now. Because the 4 Shames are redundant, it's unappealing to take any of those cards, but... And please tell me Eugene's not considering taking away the Scorpion. Yeah, so he does the thing we thought he was going to do. He's going to strip the Unassuming Yojimbo from John's hand. John probably going to play For Shame here, yeah. Now, this is awkward, right? Because it doesn't matter if you bow or dishonor. If he really wanted to, he would just play the other. I think you just dishonor here, right? Yeah. Now, the thing is, you just have to be careful, right? Because, I Can Swim is in John's hand. And going forward, you're just going to have to be careful about not underbidding yourself. So that you open up Yoga for being dishonored. So he does get the fire ring off. He's going to go ahead and dishonor the Seppen Guardsman. But since that Unassuming Yojimbo was taken from John's hand, I don't think he's going to be able to do a second conflict this turn.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot going to happen this round.
Yeah.
Everyone just passes out.
Now all that being said, I think John is in an amazing position going into the next turn, just because he's going to be sitting on so much fate.
Okay. Oh, John doesn't have enough of those tokens to represent his face in the next round.
He may have to borrow some of Eugene's.
He's trying to borrow some of Eugene's. I could also go bring him some tokens. We'll see how they're doing here.
All right, Sincerity triggers, draws him a card, going into the second turn. Now John is deciding whether or not, I think he's deciding whether or not to keep that back alley hideaway.
So yes, John has 15 of his tokens, needed 16 for this round. I don't think that will be a circumstance that happens too often.
Yoga of its own. Actually, as the first player, this is a good way to get your to pull in your opponent's Yoga, especially if they're dishonored. So 2 young rumor mongers, Socio-Illusionist.
Can you put the liar under the back alley?
Yes, yeah, because you can see that there's a black card under the alley, so that's gonna be the liar there. So that Socio-Illusion is actually probably going to be fairly important during this game. If Eugene decides to play it, I think here you want to play Illusionist and Past. I think. No, he's going to go for the Courtier instead.
So, do you think he's going to be opening himself up to that Way of the Scorpion, though?
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, he has Way of the Scorpion in his hand. There's really nothing else you're going to play it on.
It's just like the dials are never going to be in a situation, or the fair chance the dials won't be in a situation. John uses the black alley to play out the liar.
Yep.
He's got a full board here.
Actually, that's a fairly good move. I think that's better than just waiting for something like an Actress to come to play.
He's in pretty good shape because, Eugene has fate, though, so he has conflict characters that he could potentially work with.
I think John just forgot to take an honor back from Eugene, though, because John's at 9 honor and Eugene's at 10.
Well, he just knew it would get stolen back, so there's no problem.
I guess so. You're right.
Until it's more than a 1 difference.
Yeah, double 5 again. Remember, Eugene knows that the I Can Swim is in John's hand, so he's going to have to be careful about how he bids.
I don't know that John drew a conflict character there. I'm sure he was...
No, I don't think so.
Hoping to. Not that he has a lot of fate to work with this turn, but... he can go fishing with the favorite niece, of course. Or no, that's not the favorite niece.
No, that is the...
Fawning Diplomat, sorry.
Yes. That is the one that gives you the Imperial favor when it leaves play. So this is a problem with decks that are very heavily favored towards one skill type, is that John doesn't realistically have an opportunity to...
It has an arc like this. So like if you're up here.
Okay. John doesn't have an opportunity to maybe provoke with a military conflict to begin with.
So Diplomat, Void on the meditations. Not a very strong attack, but Eugene has no military, so
It's actually a pretty good attack because forces Yogo Haru to get in if he wants to defend. If he doesn't defend, he's just going to take a fate off it.
yes.
Toma Courtier can't participate.
Well, also, could this be a bonsai into? I don't know if he has one or not.
John
Charge
does have
is
a
an option,
bonsai,
I guess.
actually. Because we saw that from the policy debate last turn when Eugene looked through John's hand. So I was mistaken earlier. Actually, John has a really good he has a really good military attack here. And Eugene knows, or at least should know, that the bonsai is in John's hand. But unless Eugene has any military pumps of his own, like, it doesn't make any sense to send Yogo Haru. Unless, of course...
I think he's thinking maybe to charge in
Yeah.
one of the rumor mongers.
So he does have unassuming Ajimbos of his own.
Yeah, he also has a Fine Katana.
Yeah. Maybe he just does a province trade here. Okay. I like this. Send in Haru. Maybe pull in his opponent's Haru. Yeah. So he'll pull in his opponent's Haru. He's still gonna lose this conflict, I think, but I think that's okay by him. So Bonsai will spend the honor to give him +4, putting him at 5-0. Now let's see if Eugene's willing to defend this.
We'll use the meditations to take a fate off.
Yep.
How important is it to prevent the break?
I'm not a big fan of fighting over meditations, honestly. And I don't know. I feel it's just better to counterattack. But he's going to do a charge with the young rumormonger, but that gets Forge Edict by John. And will he Forge Edict back? Just thinking about it.
So Eugene here is actually trying to decide if he wants to cancel the cancel.
Oh, nice.
John assassinates the courier. Alright, they both pass, it's a break. John will take an honor.
Okay, so now it's Eugene's turn to declare conflict. He's probably going to play Unassuming Ajimbo, try to get past the
Blackmail artist.
Blackmail Artist.
He's going to run right into a Fury, I think.
Yep.
So Mirror Mortar's Fury will allow John to bow any attacker.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And Eugene has no way to Forge Edict that. So Eugene's operating with knowledge about half of John's hand. So maybe considering something. I think Mirror Mortar's Fury is something that John drew this turn, but a lot of the other pieces he's aware of. Including the Force Shame that could come out.
Now, does someone... Yeah, I mean, it's someone who is perceptive. Like, having John assassinate that Atoma Courtier, especially when it's fairly obvious John could defend a political attack by Eugene, that might suggest that he's trying to shut off.
I mean, John may
Forge
also
Edicts?
just be trying to avoid having to waste a defender.
Yeah.
I guess he could do it later.
So here's the unassuming Jumbo. He's going to go for the attack, put 2 Fate on him. You might put a Pathfinder Blade on this this character as well. John actually has a let go for that, so this is probably going to turn out fairly badly for Eugene here. Yeah. Okay, he just actually that's good because he doesn't give Eugene an opportunity to attack just in case he runs into an on reveal trigger on a province.
Yeah.
Incidentally, Pilgrimage, one of the really good provinces against Pathfinder's Blade.
Maybe he's just trying to decide where he's going to attack. So he's attacking the Pilgrimage.
Click for Snare says go Scorpion. Yes,
Yeah.
we are rooting for the Scorpion player as well.
So we do see the Fury come out.
He's a Fury, yeah.
So that attack fizzles.
I thought the wild thing was right. Yeah.
So as it is right now, John can actually take out another province and maybe go for the Earth Ring. Yeah, political conflict. Go for the Socio-Illusionist. That's a high impact, and he reveals a Pilgrimage. Now, John actually has enough to break just on its own.
He does. He has a bonsai if he needs to.
Well, bonsai doesn't work on political, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
So I do see a Court Games. He's going to go ahead and try to Court Games the Blackmail Artist to try to.
So John has no
prevent the
choice
break.
but to dishonor the Blackmail Artist.
Well, yes, because the Liar is already dishonored.
John may be considering another Forged Edict.
Yeah, again, Pilgrimage is a tough one because this is just going to put him one under breaking, and if he doesn't pump it again, he's just not going to get any ring effect, but he's just going to let it happen. Now, he does, if he does...
And they both pass.
Yeah,
So
he does get an honor.
for unopposed, and that's it.
Well, no, he also gets an honor for winning the conflict with Blackmail Artist.
All right. Everyone passes through.
So I thought that was actually going to be a huge tempo swing for John by breaking 2 provinces this turn, but Lucky Pilgrimage prevented that from happening.
He's still in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Eugene has 7 honor to John's 6. And I think 10 fate to John's 9. Eugene's just deciding which of those characters he doesn't need this turn. Keeps one Murmonger, gets rid of the other 2 cards.
That's interesting he got rid of the Shigenja. I'm not sure if Eugene's running 3 Cloud the Mines in his deck. I feel like Scorpion is one of the few clans that can run Cloud the Mine consistently. But yeah, it's quite possible he's not running
a couple actresses, so he's curious what his options are. Nothing great, really.
This may be one of the few times where the non-shinobi clause is actually relevant on Chishiro Actress. Although I don't think there's any shinobi in his discard pile.
No. I think Young Rumor Monger might be the biggest card, less than that's actually targetable.
Actually, I would take the Socio-Illusionist. Because then you can, you can remove the Dishonor from your Blackmail Artist, so you can use Forge Edict again. But yeah, Tomo Courtier first for Eugene. Of course, that's only going to be a defensive card this turn, because he cannot attack a player that has the Imperial Favor. Favored Niece coming out for John. This is a really good card in Scorpion Mirrors. His Way of the Scorpion is an almost dead card in this matchup, so it's a good way to cycle those out. And of course, it is a Courtier. The only problem is Forge Edicting a Favored Niece is actually fairly painful because of the 2 Glory on her. So yeah, we see the first of 2 cycles with the Favored Niece getting rid of that Way of the Scorpion.
I'm curious about John. Oh, okay, John's taking the honor now, knowing that he can, with the Manipulator, make sure he keeps at worst even, so that he won't be able to steal the honor back.
So here's another cycle, discarding the other Way of the Scorpion. Looks like he drew a conflict character that time. And this is all happening during Dynasty phase, so Eugene has long since passed. Now he's the one sitting on a bunch of Fate. Plays out the Chishiro Actress, which means that John is going broke for this play.
John gets to go first, so he's going to take 2 Fate off that Air Ring if he'd like.
Yep. I think both players bid low this turn.
No.
It's a bit of a game of chicken here.
Yeah. I thought John would keep on 5.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if Eugene would switch his strategy.
Nice. I mean, that was a huge commit. Of course, I mean, now John has a huge card advantage, and he can just slowly gain that honor back. The only problem is that he's, because he's already used his thing, if he drew an Assassinate, which I don't think he did. Oh, he did draw an Assassinate. He's not going to be able to use that.
He is going to be able to, if he wants to, Way of the Scorpion.
The Tomo Courtier, yeah. I don't know. I mean, Tomo Courtier right now is such a low impact card that I don't feel.
Way of the Scorpion.
Way of the Scorpion. You mean I Can Swim?
I Can Swim. Sorry, yes, my bad. I always get those backwards. I Can Swim always seems so much more like the Scorpion.
Yeah, that's true. It's because it has that painterly kind of art on it. That's why. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he could. I think I Can Swim has to happen during a conflict. Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. First player did switch. Sorry, John had first player. And
okay, so he actually can't do I Can Swim this turn. And you know what? Maybe Eugene bid low, realizing that. Yeah, he could just take the 2 honor. Now, as long as he doesn't reveal Manicured Garden, I think he's okay. So he does reveal Secret Cache. Very big card for, very good province for Scorpion. Allows him to dig through the top 5 cards of his library. Find something. Looks like a conflict character in his hand, and
there's the character.
Yeah.
I feel like you want to bring in the, I'm assuming with Yojimbo as well into this. So you play your own Haru. So 7 to 4, John's advantage.
Yeah, but the only thing important here is just, this is a chump attack. Because he's going to try to pull in maybe John's Yoga Haru.
No, John Sugaru's already
Oh,
there.
sorry, my bad. Yeah, okay. Oh, so it's the two top
It's those two
characters on
guys,
that.
yeah. Basically, John wants to take away a potential military attack from Eugene. I mean, I think Eugene has another Yojimbo in hand that he has plentiful fate to play.
The only thing is that Jimbo's not going to do much in a political conflict with the.
No, I mean, it's for a second military conflict from Eugene.
Yes. This is actually the top table, so both these players are 2-0. And as we mentioned earlier, this is the final round, so the winner of this match is probably going to be the overall winner of the event.
Well, yeah, definitely will.
Yes.
Yeah, so for today we had 2 scorpion players, a unicorn, a
Crane.
crab.
2 crabs and a crane.
2 crabs and a crane? Yeah. I wasn't sure what the last... The second crab. I hadn't seen yet. So yeah, we're getting into the holiday season, so it's started to impact the turnout for some of these events. For the last couple tournaments we had like roughly around 20 players.
You know, it's possible some of the L5R players decided to draft Magic instead today, too.
It's entirely possible.
You know, one thing I'm not looking forward to is I'm just so used to the release of one new pack a week. Is after next week, it's going to be what I think a month or 2 until the next thing comes out.
I don't think we'll see anything until maybe February of next year. But I'll be honest, having to go out and buy a new pack every week is kind of a pain. Mostly just because I've been trying to support a different store than the one I come to on Thursday nights. So it's been off schedule with the release.
Oh, Kachiko.
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought with that mid full of, I hadn't seen it in his hand. So with that mid full of fate. All right.
So, for shame. Now, I feel like actually you bow here, right? You bow, and then you use Kachiko's ability to send home Yogo and bow him, and then you're still winning the conflict, I believe? No, it decides
You can send home the blackmail artist and have the same effect.
Oh, no. If you drop that creature, I would say
Oh, it's not. I guess no. It's not enough of a switch.
No, because blackmail artists only gain, like, they only lose one political
No,
hero.
I did forget. No, they're at 6. I was wrong. I hadn't noticed a dishonor on that blackmail artist. So
Okay.
it would be enough to swing the battle. I mean, that all suggests no other tricks.
See, oh, for shame.
no, my kill was so on.
Plays the center to cancel that. He does have the favor. All right, we've got a policy debate happening here. So 4-1. I think this does present Eugene with an interesting choice. He could try to take it. Or he could just cancel it here as well. He's got a 4G to get in. Oh no, he can't. He does not have. Oh, he does. Sorry, he doesn't. I don't think John can really afford to bid anything here.
Yeah, that was a fairly forced one there. So a lot of military tools, and
I think that Yojimbo goes away.
now is Fate Worse Than Death have any restrictions on play?
I don't.
Like you
Just
don't
forfeit, right?
just forfeit, yeah. So he could just use a Fate Worse Than Death on Haru, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I do that. I just blank it.
So John, John thought he was winning here, and he is not. That 1 point of Yojimbo that he brought in is actually making the difference now.
Yeah. And the air ring, he's gonna take one honor here.
I mean, he still does, like, if he really doesn't want to lose this,
Yeah.
he could actress, right? So sacrificing the actress and going and fishing something from the discard. There's nothing really strong that he can fish out, though.
If he fishes out the Socio-Illusionist, he gets +3 political, and he can spend a... Oh, he doesn't have any
He doesn't
fate.
have any fate
Never
at
mind,
all.
sorry. But he does get +3 political from fishing that out.
So Haru did actually move someone in on from Eugene's side, so just bring the favorite Neeson.
Oh, interesting.
This means there's a court games coming?
I don't know. I feel like he's going to play a Fate Worse Than Death on Haru.
That's entirely possible.
Because here's what you do. You use Fate Worse Than Death. Then you, because you win the conflict, you dishonor favored niece.
Yes.
And when Haru and Blackmail Artists go away at the end of the turn, you lose 2 honor. In addition to the honor you steal from the air ring. So I think he's trying to win the game off this.
Well, I mean, there's still the fire ring out there, so...
Yep, that's true. As long as he can defend the fire ring. So... Sean Grattan asks if the rest field looks like there's any other 2-0 matches. No, this is actually the top table. There are only 6 players at this event today. So this is round 3. These are the only 2 players who went undefeated. At the conclusion of this round, the tournament will be over, and the winner of this will be the winner of the tournament.
You can also, court masses, I think, is what you're thinking about here. Right,
So
Chico sends the niece home.
Kachiko, court games, honor, Yoga Haru. Man, I feel like I'm missing something with Fate Worse Than Death. Maybe he's just saving it for the counterattack. So that puts, John, and if he plays a court mask, yeah.
Here it comes. Nope.
There's I think, is there a let go in John's hand?
I don't remember.
It's hard to see.
Oh, I guess, John. No, interesting.
I mean, I don't think there's a cancel effect for attachment, so he's just going to go ahead and attach it. But yeah, he does have to let go.
Is the actress Shujendo?
No, it's Shinobi.
Oh, Shinobi, right. Sorry.
Yeah, so I did see. I did see
Cloud
the
of Mine.
Cloud in the Mine in his hand, but
Unfortunate for John.
the thing is, he can use the actress to get the Illusionist and then play Cloud in the Mine. He's going to need to declare a conflict first, though, because he has no money to play Cloud in the Mine.
Right.
20 minutes left in the round, and we're still on turn 2, I think?
3.
Something like that, yeah. Only one province broken on Eugene's side, but he has the potential to win the game this turn if he plays his cards right.
Because John will be able to get, likely win the fire ring, I think there's a way for him to salvage it.
Well, that's why I think he's saving a fate worse than death for that when he tries to push for the fire ring.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happened there? Sorry, I missed it. Oh, he lost the conflict. So that actually saved him a bit because the blackmail artist triggered upon winning that political conflict, took an honor from Eugene. So whereas John was teetering on the brink, now I think he's going to use this to gain a foothold and start climbing back. He has a lot of work ahead of him, but yeah, Sashiro Actress, Water Ring, probably looking to...
Yeah, oh well.
So that is a shameful display. Not that bad for Sashiro Actress, but I mean, if she's going to use the ability, she's going to lose an honor for it, so...
She's still winning because of the political favor.
Yep. So he just lets it happen. Standing Yoga Haru, yep, as I thought. So, an honored Yoga Haru actually has 2 military strength, so... Assuming Eugene doesn't have any other plays, he might use it to try to grab the fire ring and honor, re-honor one of his guys.
John's actually sitting on 4 honor. You can see the coins on the top of the screen. Just answering Sintor's question on the screen.
Yeah. The dial on the bottom of the screen is just his honor bid dial.
Yeah, it's the dials from you get from attending a Grand Cote.
Those honor dishonor tokens, are those also Grand Cote
No,
prices?
those look like
custom made things.
Maybe I assume they're custom made ones.
Because I've seen the ones that Shane has.
Yeah,
those are I think official ones.
The Cotes, unless would have assumed the Cote had the same kind that were at Worlds.
Okay, yeah. So John had already done a political, so now he has to do a military here.
Yeah, John is sitting at 4 honor.
4 honor left. Oh, a charge. Nice.
He's going to cancel it, I think. Cancel back.
Sorry. Who did he dishonor for that? The
hero.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's weird he didn't go for the fire. I guess he was just trying to strip Kachiko of fate.
Or he might just be trying to go down to only one character carrying over. Guardsman. It's not a Yojimbo just discard as well? Oh no. Is Actress either discard or just Dynasty?
No, just the discard pile.
No, but Dynasty or a Conflict as well?
I believe it's both.
we just Bonsai. Did spend a fate, so. Or did spend an honor, sorry. Back up to 4/4. Or so 5/4 now.
It's any discard pile.
Okay. So yeah, we did confirm it is any discard pile. So Actress could bring Yojimbo back in.
Ooh, Frankie Tana.
Trying to decide what to do here. Could also just wave Scorpion first.
Who are you way of the Scorpion?
Yunako.
Yeah, it would work if it was a non-Scorpion card.
Oh, right. Sorry.
The greatest virtue of the Scorpion is loyalty, so they can't do shit to their own stuff.
John does let it go. Not actually the card, but he lets that combat go.
Yep. It's been tough. I mean, the Scorpion Mirror is a lot more grindy than I thought it would have been.
Oh. Well, if he did have a... that was a Fate Worse Than Death in his hand, right?
Yeah.
You should have been the game there.
Man, I just don't know if I'm missing... I don't want to go over there and read the guy's card from his hand, but I really feel like if he did play... Yeah. If he did play a Fate Worse Than Death, that would have been the game. Unless he was just worried about it getting Forged Edicted.
Yeah. Yeah, so he could have played
participating character. Okay, could
have played that in Manipulator last time.
The opportunity is still there for him. He's, I mean, Eugene is the first player actually, so he's gonna probably try to get an air conflict going here. So Eugene just needs to remember to take the fate. Okay, I was mistaken. Sorry, John is actually gonna be the first player, so he's gonna get the first opportunity to act. So there's another Yunako he can throw in.
So yeah, and the fact that John had a fate left last turn, I would have brought the Illusionist back in and used it to remove the other
I agree.
Dishonor token.
Yep.
Just you're playing on two final line here.
So as it is, John just right away takes that honor with his stronghold. I think do you play Yunako here and just pass? I think.
You may with John. Well, John. Yeah, I think John's gone through most of his Forged Edict. Like, the Rumor Monger is tempting to put the Dishonor token on someone who is going to be going away this turn,
Right.
accelerating that win condition. But I don't think John has a lot of the cards that would normally be doing the Dishonor.
Actress. Okay, here's another opportunity actually for John to. Although he doesn't have any more Dishonored characters, so he's not in a rush to remain Dishonored. So there's a young Rumor Monger.
There's been a little bit of what's in John's hand. I just got the one conflict character, so no two. Okay. Oh, that was maybe an attachment. John still may be frustrated that he hadn't seen a Shugenja.
I mean, we'll see if he sees the play this turn. Just needs to grab that Illusionist, and then he can play the Cloud the Mind. So 1, 2, feel like they both drew one. Yeah, they both bid one that turn. it looks like for yeah, at this point, Eugene's greatest out to victory is going to have to be the dishonor route. So we got 10 minutes left in the round. I'm just going to remind the players that they're
So John uses his favorite niece, gets rid of the useless way of the Scorpion to get another Yojimbo that he can play. John's just trying to decide if he's going to do another. And he's not going to use another favorite niece trigger this turn. Oh, I lied. He is going to trigger one more time. I'm not sure what he's discarding here. I can swim. It's probably not a bad idea. You might not have the conditions for it.
Well, your honor
instead
is
just calling in favors.
Yeah, I mean your honor is so low that you neither want to dishonor your own guy to call in favors, potentially, or do you want to bid high enough to turn on
Sure.
I can swim?
I can see potentially a desperation calling in favors happening, whereas with the Scorpion, your dial's never going to get in that position.
So if time is called right now, it's going to look like John has 2. Imperial favor is 1 or 2 points.
1 point.
So just 3 to Eugene's 2.
Yes.
Yeah. Still true I call. Okay, so he's going to start with the unassuming Yojimbo, no fate on it. Both players know that there are less than 10 minutes left, so putting fate on characters becomes less a priority. Rob could still pull this off. I mean, if he has the cards in his hand to do the fate worse than death play, and he has a looks like very deliberately left for fate in his fate pool for that reason.
John, it's really hard not to go for that 2 fate, but he is really concerned about the air ring.
Depends on your hand, right? Because I think there's at least one more conflict character in John's hand. The 2 fate might actually be useful to play that conflict character out.
Well, there's also the Cloud the Mind that could come into play here.
Yep.
Obviously, John has no Shugenja, but we know that he can steal one with the actress. Considering a political error, he's going to do a political.
Secret cache, nice.
He knew what that was going to be, just based on the other cards that he's seen.
Oh, For Shame, Forged Edict. All really good cards here. See an unassuming Yojimbo, which, I mean, the problem is John has an unassuming Yojimbo on his side, so he can't go for it past it. But For Shame might actually do some work here. He just needs to not lose this conflict so that John doesn't just gain 2 honor, which is what most assuredly he's going to do here if he does win.
John's at 8 strength between those 2 characters in the political favor. Just a reminder, this will be our last round of the day. Thank you for those that have stuck with the stream. We will be posting these individual videos on our YouTube channel, and we do have some previous matches up there. I'm not sure we'll have any more live streams before the holidays, but for those who do follow multiple games, we will have the X-Wing Regionals on the 6th of January, and I'm not sure which weekend, but we'll definitely have a L5R event in January, even if it is a tournament without any real prize support. We may do some additional casual games just to keep some activity on the channel, but that remains to be seen. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to get notified when those do come out. Always happy to see more subscribers on our channel. Is that court games, DK?
For shame.
For shame? Yeah.
Court games might have actually been a little bit better in this scenario, but yeah, if you can force shame on Yoga Haru, John Gobe will probably just bow it, just to be sure.
Yeah, I don't think John is worried about... If he loses this, he's still okay.
Right. Well, I don't know. Like, John just needs to be able to see the Socio-Illusionist play that actually will save him because of the effect. So this was, what is that, Force Shame? Yeah. Force Shame, sending Yoga Haru home. Or sorry, bowing him.
Yes.
And then... thing is, Bayushi Kachiko only has 3 political strength, so she can't actually send home the actress either. So this looks like a court games, perhaps?
Yeah, that'll definitely take him back out of send home.
Yunako is still active, though, right? Yeah. Court games targeting Eugene.
Let's go on Yunako. I think it...
Yeah, so then he uses Kachiko's ability to send home Haru.
John's still winning here. Sure, he'd love to actually be able to break, but... So Yunako uses his power on himself. John's thinking about that court mask.
I'm not sure Eugene actually has anything left.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Although he can use a favorable ground to move in the young rumor monger to win this conflict. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. Sintor does point out that he could have used the young rumor monger to prevent Yunako from getting dishonored.
Yep.
Eugene still has the option of pulling someone back with favorable ground. Well, guess if he does that, he does put himself at risk of having the province broken. Although I don't know that John has anything to do with it. Yeah, Center, I agree for sure. Legend of the Five Rings is very taxing. Playing through a tournament makes for a very, very long day. So they're playing it out because modified win versus loss doesn't really matter. I mean, the one difference is here the person who does not. You could concede to make sure you're not going to be losing second place. I mean, Eugene might be tempted because. Given this, it's unlikely he's going to be able to do the straight-out victory this turn. Oh wait, no, he still does have. You still have an option.
Yeah, they're going to keep playing.
Yeah.
They're both undefeated, so it doesn't actually matter if they get a modified win, the winner. They're still going to be the person.
Well, it does matter for the person who loses.
Yes, the modified loss means they don't get any points for losing.
Once again, chooses not to do a fate worse than death.
I feel like that play, I think that was a big mistake not using that card in the previous turn. That would have definitely sealed the game, I think.
Well, he could have also done it here to prevent that loss.
Yep.
Yeah, I keep thinking maybe that's not a different card, but no, it's definitely that card.
Mm-hmm.
And the only restriction is a participating character. Yeah, fate worse than death. Last turn would have been the game. It would have been the last. Been able to dishonor one more character. That would have meant a loss for John. I mean, he knows that John's gone through a lot of his cancels. There's a good chance that John doesn't have any in his hand. And obviously, we know that he doesn't. And it's not like that losing that fate was really going to be a major problem for Eugene.
So this is military fire just with the Yojimbo?
Yeah. Presumably,
he's going to block with this Yojimbo.
Coverted the favored niece just because there's nothing else to do. Okay, so they both have three strength. Oh, it's a shameful display. Yeah, he can safely pass by the mask. He's going to be able to honor this Yojimbo. It's entirely possible he's considering using the actress to pull something in where that honor will be more valuable. So Eugene plays Bonsai. Chooses not to get the court mask back before he sacrifices the actress. 9-5 for Eugene right now. So I think John is going through some contortions, figuring out what to do.
Does he have any strength pumps in his hand?
Sorry?
So what is this? This is shameful? What?
Yeah.
So I think, are they trying to figure out if
they're
they
arguing
can,
about whether he can retarget the Unimronger Dishonor.
something that's
can't-
already dishonored?
Yeah, they don't gain a token, so
Yeah.
you cannot move the token to another character. You can't push the Dishonor.
Yeah, in order for a young rumormonger to move a dishonor token, they have to be able to gain one.
Yeah.
And if they already have a dishonor token, they can't move it. Now he's just gonna let it happen, yeah. But he does get fired.
Oh no. Wasn't that 9-7?
Must have been 10-7.
Seven, 9. I mean, I can't do anything.
No, it was 6. Cause no, sorry, you're right. You're right. They may have missed that.
So Unimongers both proc, but it bounces it back.
Yep.
And I can't go and intervene here, but I don't think he had enough strength to break. So we can't say anything. It's for them to determine the strength. It's possible that we miscounted something. Oh no, sorry, I was giving the wrong amount of honor to Rumormonger. That's my fault.
So a dishonored favored niece means doesn't actually have any skill to contribute. He does, and he's already declared a political conflict, so he won't be able to use the favor.
I don't think it was worth popping the actress to try to defend here.
No.
I think he needed to counterattack.
Yep.
And he could have done the water ring to bring up something that mattered.
So your Jimbo.
I thought John only had 2 fate left. All right. I missed that.
It must have been a fate off the table.
Yeah, I feel like he played a Yojimbo, get sex Yojimbo court mask, and he did not gain any fate off a ring. Oh yes, Secret Void. Good call. Thank you, Sator. John's trying to find a line of play here that's going to let him win out. I don't think there is one, knowing what's in Eugene's hands.
That's amazing.
Even without the things in Eugene's hand, just the favorable ground means that there's nothing that John is going to be able to break.
Oh, yes. Thank you. you.
So you're just like, my craft's a girl. The hard part is making room for it.
It still dies. Yeah, it still dies. I don't know how it works. Does he just get it back?
Like, you gotta, I can prepare for those turns by like fading my guys.
Amazing. That was perfect time. That was
Where like everyone gets a fade. Even if I'm gonna play the crowd,
now I'll play that.
if it ends up the way the crowd is,
So if you're wearing a hat, they have
powerful effect. I feel like kind of a fish for like the Caillou envoy.
I mean,
Your scout that killed
if Eugene had nothing in his hand,
5 fade, like
he could Yojimbo covert the Rumor Monger into shameful display. Favorable grounds will bring it in. John can assassinate. Yeah. But then there's stuff in Eugene's hand.
I thought I could teach.
well, yeah, sometimes it's awesome too because the fade
I was going to help you.
so then they encourage you to put fade on their guys, which only makes your assassinate more valuable. Your Tamanatsu becomes more valuable. Like, I played a Crane Hot Blue yesterday, and Tamanatsu is guest of honor. He was like very unimpressed. She just went to the top of the deck, but it was guest of honor with
Yeah, he might as well have done the water to, in case having favor mattered.
by 12, like 1 by 2, like after his like attack, but
Yeah, they're playing it out.
Ooh, assassinate. Wait, assassinate going to 1? I really don't understand that
Well, he
play.
has no other choice. He needs to break a province or he loses.
Fate worse than death, please.
Well, Faith versus the Nets, he can just play a Yojimbo after this and go unopposed.
Did you just play it? Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
finally.
Finally, fate worse than death. There's a handshake. So it looks like Eugene won that through dishonor.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like he maybe missed that opportunity a couple of turns ago, but in the end it did not matter. So congratulations to Eugene winning this event. That I think puts maybe John in, depends on how everyone else did, but that might put him in 3rd place because if it's a modified win. So no, that's actually a full win because it's dishonor.
Yes, dishonor.
So does that mean John gets
Yes. Yeah, he'll lose characters, he'll dishonor victory, it'll be a full win.
Yeah, and it's a full loss for John too?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so that's it. Thank you all for watching. We'll be sure to put up these videos piecemeal in the next couple of days on our VTTV Live YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to that YouTube channel if you want to watch this and other L5R games that we have up there. We will hope to bring some more L5R content in the new year, starting in January with some monthly events at 401. In addition to all the regular monthly X-Wing, Armada, Netrunner events that we've got going on that channel. Regional season is happening soon in Toronto for all our Star Wars games. So January 6th we have an X-Wing regional that Face to Face Games is hosting at a venue in Toronto. So we're going to be really excited for that. We expect over 100 players to show up for that event. It's going to be a 2-day event with so maybe some side events if we have time to do that stuff. But yeah, please subscribe and keep appraised of all the things we have going on.
Also, any feedback you have about our streams, things we can be doing better, either overlay, audio, anything, we're happy to have feedback from the audience.
All right, so that's it. So I'm Victor.
I'm Travis.
And we're signing off. Thank you so much.